Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Wave podcast, where we keep you up to date on the latest news, trends, and people that are making waves in crypto. I'm Jennifer from Space Coast Crypto Consulting, and joining me here today are my co-hosts Jesse and Joey.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey guys.
How's everybody doing?
So glad to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so glad to be back. So let's get our monitors up and ready. So busy week. What do you mean no?
You know, that's what I love about...
Why are you shaking your head?
That's what I love about the crypto space. It has been such a busy week. There's just...
Joey's having monitor problems.
Sorry.
The whole time he's like shaking his head like... So let's start from the top.
Sorry.
Go for it.
That's what I love about the crypto space. There's
Yes.
so much new stuff that's happening every day. It's like you turn around and then 10 more things just happened.
Yeah.
And how do you keep up with it all? Well, I'll tell you. You want to like and subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell notification so we can keep you up to date on the latest news and everything that's happening for the week in crypto.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, all weekend I've been reading. You know, you get hooked on this stuff. And it's out there. The news and the information, it's just nonstop.
I don't think anyone's got the bug as bad as Joey, though. Joey got
Yes.
it bad.
They call it being orange pilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's. I like to gamble. I never have, but you can gamble with this. So inexpensive, and there's so many different things to choose from to make it exciting. You know, you have your ADA, your Cardano, and then you have the Shiba that's like a millionth of a penny that you could buy millions of share with, and then you have XRP that's up there, but you got the big boys. When we started, Bitcoin was at 28,000. Now it's breaking 50, and we were joking. Who knew? We should have just, and here's something we were talking about, and let's throw it out there.
Throw it out there.
Do you at this point now, do you have like equity in the home? Do you say, hey, you know what, the way the market's going, I know Bitcoin's going to go up at 50. Do I take the loss, but it's going to go back up? You know, or is it going to continue to climb? It goes up 4,000. You put another 50 into it. You made a pretty good chunk of change pretty quick.
Well,
or any of them, really.
You're not
the top five.
You're not going to day trade with the equity of your home, right? You're not going to you're not going to wait for like a $5 or like, you know, $10 like little movement. You're going to wait over about probably 6 to 9 months. Because really, you know, that money, as long as it's somewhere, you're not paying capital gains on it. You only take capital gains when you actually like spend it, not reinvest it. So you could let it sit there for a good 9 months. And we've all seen what could happen to Bitcoin in just 9 months.
Well, and it's funny because it just shows you where we are in the cycle. So
Right.
there's excitement. We have extreme
Yes.
excitement here,
Yeah,
which makes you want to do irrational things,
Right.
market psychology.
Market
So, I mean,
psychology.
hey, believe me.
Look, I bet on 2 cockroaches one time. So to
Yeah,
look
and-
at this and you look at the numbers and just go back to
Where else can you have gains, thousands of % of gains like this in traditional
you know,
markets?
Joey's used to the gambling, you know, on the streets of New York. So it was a shell game. It was dice in the back alley. You know, it was all these shady environments. No, this is actually something that's credible. There's a lot more people into it. So even like a horse race, for instance, there's how many horses in a race?
It depends.
I know this guy. See, I knew he would know that.
The Derby has 20. Normally there's between 10 and 12.
How many greyhounds race at a time?
8 or 9?
Okay.
Maybe 8 or 9? I'm trying to
So
think.
you only have like 8 or 9 players to really
Here comes
bet
Rocky.
on. And you only have a pool of about maybe, 10,000 people, let's say, on a big day at any track given day.
Yeah,
Saratoga
now,
or
yeah,
something, you know, or you know, and so let's just say, so even that share of so many limited essential assets, let's just call it the horses and the dogs assets. You only have a limited number to choose from, you know, and they're only good for the day. They're going to expire, so that money doesn't have a chance to go back up and race again.
Right.
You hear me? 10,000 people, 8 choices. Here we got billions of people. And how many, like in coin stats, I think it's like up to 1,200, 1,900. I don't even know how
it's
many
up
tokens.
there. It was over 1,000 the other day.
So not
I
only
saw.
is the pool bigger, but
Like
also
how
the
many-
choices
how
are
many
a lot
cryptos
longer.
are
Right.
available? 9,000.
9,000.
9,000. And new ones coming, ICOing every
right.
day.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we could make our own crypto wave coin.
And we should. If you're out there and you know how to do that, get a hold of us. Everybody's going to want it because I believe even these episodes will become NFTs at one point.
Yeah.
It's not just going to become the art. It's going to become every digital asset that people can own. Mark my words.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it's from a gambling aspect, but when you start looking at the top 4, the top 5, and I'll just go back to when we started the podcast, we go back to early June, July, and Bitcoin was 28. We talked about this last week, last episode as well, where we discussed, at 28, where's it going to be? Maybe you should put some money in, because in a few months it might be at 100. You go, oh my God, 28 was so cheap. And look where we are now at 50. You almost doubled your money. Well, if you do the gazintas, you almost doubled your money.
Yeah.
Are pretty close.
Or pretty close to it.
And how long of time?
That was, how many episodes have we done? 6,
so
7?
It's like 8 months. 7 episodes, 8 months, right?
Wait, it's June, July. We do them every week.
June, July. I heard January.
Huh?
Into the mic.
We started.
Sorry.
he took it personal. He's like, getting
ahead of the mic. What are you talking about?
Like, this is between you and I. The audience ain't got to hear this.
It was probably
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
May, June, I would say that we got started. Yeah.
So that's a really quick jump to double any money. That's
what
100% looks like.
Right.
Well, and that was right after seeing a 50% drawdown. So with these new markets comes extreme volatility. Yeah. So can you stomach the volatility? A lot of people cannot.
And if you look at real estate, bonds, or other markets, it takes you 30 years to double your money. That's just how it is.
Not even. I mean, I was looking at interest rates for the 10-year Treasury bond is like less than 1%.
Yeah. Bonds, mutuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of those are great for granddad and grandma because they can't afford any risk. They need to know that money's there. It's where they're at is where they're at. They're not in a growth mode. They're not in a high risk, high yield mode. They are in retirement. Please just don't let me not have a nice funeral. They're really just hoping that it gets them all the way to the finish line. But these are things that could be volatile. A tweet sends a market 20% and goes sideways. Who knows?
So let's talk about Cardano and what has Cardano reaching all-time highs.
Oh my God!
So
you talk about.
Can you let the other?
Sorry, that's one of my favorites.
No, go ahead. Share it with me.
I've been watching that like over the last 2
Jennifer.
weeks. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves.
No.
I've been watching. It's like watching baseball scores. I mean, I've been watching it like 4 or 5 times. It almost hit. I was getting texts the other day. We almost hit 3, and now it's back down. I think it was. I didn't look at it before we came on the air. I think it was like around 273. But we almost broke to 3. So once it goes over 3, this thing is
272 right now.
272, son of a
Yep,
bitch.
and the total crypto market cap is 2.8 trillion. So we have broke above $2 trillion in overall crypto market cap, with Bitcoin having a dominance of 43.93%. But Cardano has lots of news coming out this week.
Right, because they got one of the smart contracts. That was last week, which brought it up. And then that's another one of those coins that we look at from when we first started. That was one of the first I purchased. And that was at $1.73. And then it dipped all the way back down under to 130 something. Went up above 170, and now it's almost doubled at 270. I mean, so right then and there, you doubled your money. I mean, I don't have that much money into it.
Sounds like you're sitting in some profits.
Yeah, $200 really. But it's not that I didn't put that much in it, but it's
it's working for you.
It's working. It's fun for everybody. It's
right.
Whether you put in thousands of dollars or you're buying small amounts each week and just watching this thing sit. If you're going to sit long term, this is perfect. But I'm at that age now where I'm in that Calgon take me away mode where I want to hit it.
You're in a bubble bath.
I want to hit it and get the hell out and find me in Bora Bora.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to share a personal story of
Please do.
of my Cardano.
And don't interrupt. It's her story.
I'll take a sip.
So I purchased Cardano last year, and I am sitting at about 2,000% of gains right now. So
how you doing?
So I'm in Bora Bora or in a bubble bath. I don't know. So when on Monday when it hit $3, I thought, let me take a little bit of money off the table here. So I sold about 15% of my holdings, which doubled, plus a couple extra, doubled my initial investment. So now everything that I have is free ride.
Nice.
Plus, double. Yes.
Lovely. Excellent.
So
Excellent.
just a reminder, when you're in this euphoric, it's going to go up forever. You got to remember those things that happen in April where you get a 50, 60% drawdown. And it's like, I was rich and now I'm poor again. So taking profits when you can. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. And it's hard to do when you're thinking like, oh, but I know it's just going to go a little bit higher and a little bit higher or double. Just take profits when you can. And that way, when things do correct, you have money to buy back in at cheaper prices and average out your costs better.
Just like playing roulette or playing craps, you always use the house money. Once you have once you put in your initial $100 on the table, you're up 200. You put that 100 to the side, and you
play with the house money.
Yep, you use the Bellagio money.
But this week, Cardano, they announced that they are going to be meeting their timeline as far as smart contracts, which I believe is set for September 15th or sometime in the beginning of September that they're going to be launching their smart contracts. Now today they went live with listing in Japan. So that was some bullish news.
Did we see a spike in change?
Not really. I mean, it went up so high within the past couple of days. Has kind of been correcting.
Well, people probably anticipated seeing that news.
And
so that's what was.
I think they're doing what Jennifer did too.
Yeah.
They're just
taking profits.
They're just taking their profits right now.
So to answer the initial question, should you take out a line, an equity line of credit to buy more Cardano? I would not recommend to do it at all-time highs, at least.
Right.
Wait for those dips and everything, because right now we're at all-time highs in price discovery mode. There is another event that's happening September 25th and 26th, and it's some sort of Cardano summit, which I actually they were offering people to host this event all in locations all over the world. So I applied to host a Cardano event, and I didn't hear anything back, but there's still time just to host a party. So I think it's some sort of just to get the word out there, get people excited and partying and marketing. So we're coming to this point where it's like, okay, you want to buy the rumor, sell the news, or are we really going to see some price appreciation and price explosion? So
I think you're going to see some price explosion. I mean,
I hope so, yeah. So we'll see if everything lives up to the hype.
Well, because all the news is positive that you're seeing. I mean, it's the top 3 or 4. It's the top 3 or 4.
We knew towards fall,
right,
we were going to start seeing these kind of results. So I'm not surprised. Listen, there's still Wall Street Bets and a bunch of other people still talking about $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. Yeah. So this would only make sense that actually we did that 200-day test. What'd they call that?
The 200-day moving average,
right,
above it.
And everything passed, right? I mean, we got through. I mean, so we earned that badge. So now we know that we could support one system of measurement, one metric. And there's going to be more and more metrics going on, as things get longer and longer, and time shows that, I mean, it's a lot like this, the more people, and I think, again, I think it's a trust issue. People have just been so set in their ways with their checking accounts and their checkbooks and, all these other ways. But a lot of that generation's falling off that knew that way. And we have another generation that embraces everything digital.
Right.
So I think it's going to be so much easier for them to really, get their minds around it and use it every day and adopt it. But we just got to get that generation to get some money and get them on board and playing.
Let me ask you this question, Jesse. Jesse's our in-house realtor as well.
Okay.
And
it's true. I guess
with talk about a bubble or the black swan that's hanging out there. They're using that black swan term quite a bit in the housing market. Do you think people who would normally be investing in homes right now, do you think there's a switch in monies, Jesse, where they're transferring monies and thinking I'm going from real estate to, or is it two different investments still going into homes? Opposite.
People want real estate. Anytime there's uncertainty, especially with I think the only black swan is inflation. Wow. I spent $15 on lunch. I had 3 tacos.
Where'd you go?
I'm not telling. Because I don't want to see you there while I'm trying to eat. You're going to talk my ear off. I'm not going to enjoy my taco. I'm kidding.
I usually buy.
It's a joke. It's a joke for the air.
I know.
So here's the thing. But it's I've seen it all around. I spent $15 on 8 chicken wings at some place, and I was like, wow, next time I really got to look at the prices because they're not $1 a piece no more. They're like almost $2 a piece. I'm going, holy, so the price of everything's going up.
Your own chickens.
But you wait. That's just a small. Wait till it's everything.
Yeah.
Wait till gas is double price. $6. And milk is $8 a gallon. And
whether
everything is inflated. What's the big safeguard to hedge against all that inflation? Real estate.
Yep. Assets that are appreciating in value, not depreciating due to inflation.
I thought that was a good question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought that was a good answer.
The chicken. Hey. All right. The chickens. I was at the grocery store the other day. I was at the meat counter.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at prices of beef again. And the guy says to me, yeah, he said, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. He said, and they ran out of chicken. Now, the name of the place is Buffalo Wild Wings, and they ran out of chicken.
Yeah, but
you
don't
go
they
there
serve
for
buffalo?
Chicken wings.
Don't they serve buffalo?
Yeah, buffalo with wings. Yeah, that's a special kind of beef.
It's a flying buffalo, you only find them in New York.
Yeah, up north.
So they ran out of chicken.
They ran out of chicken.
Supply chain.
Anyway.
And?
I was just saying they ran out of
Very
chicken.
it was very disappointing.
So supply chain stuff has been a whole
part
nother
of the inflation.
topic. Well, inflation is what happens when there's just too much money in the money supply. Like there's just too many dollars, which just devalues all of the dollar you have now because there's 3 other people with similarly like the other third of that dollar.
Yeah.
And so you're sharing a dollar. And so yeah, it's really bad, and that's the black swan. That's the looming thing I think everybody should be looking forward to do. How do you hedge against it? Real estate, crypto, art from Hunter Biden. Apparently that appreciates really well.
Appreciating assets. Yes.
Right.
You want to. So all of the wealthy right now are looking for a place to park their cash. So let's talk about Michael
I'll give
Saylor.
him my address.
Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategies, and he has purchased tons of Bitcoin. So he was one of the first major corporations to allocate all of their cash that was on MicroStrategy's balance sheet to Bitcoin. And he's gotten a lot of praise and also a lot of concern about that. But so far he has proven that it's been a good strategy. So he actually just this week he he announced it this week and purchased 4,000 more Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy currently holds almost 110,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet with an initial cost of $2.9 billion, and MicroStrategies is now worth $5.3 billion just with the Bitcoin investment. So Michael Saylor's whole deal is that why would you hold cash that's depreciating at a rate of 15% per year compounding, instead of putting your money into an asset that's pretty much guaranteed through the trend to go up in value over 100 years. So he's actually held a summit with other CEOs of major companies and shared his game plan. So his game plan is all open source, and he is encouraging other people to do the same with their balance sheet. So another company that came out this week was Coinbase, who is a crypto company, the exchange. They have allocated 500 million of cash on their balance sheet to holding crypto assets like Bitcoin, which, I mean, they're a crypto company. They have skin in the game. They have conviction. So,
and a lot of power.
What I want to know is who's going to be the next, because who the next catalyst that's going to send everything to the moon.
You mean a person?
I mean,
just the next company.
It's available in all countries. Mm-hmm. I think. I think once. I mean, Amazon's already accepting it, right?
But they're not.
So as soon as all retailers are able to have it, as soon as you're able to boom, point of sale with your crypto, that's what's going to change. I think it's a processing thing. Mm-hmm. Versus more of who's going to adopt it or not. We don't need celebrity adoptions for this to be credible.
No, I think when Amazon does it, when Amazon adopts it, they're saying 2022, which is next year. There's three different coins they were looking at. One was One was Shiba, not Doge, AMA, or one of them, but I know Shiba. And I think once an Amazon takes it, that almost gives it the gold, almost the gold, the thumbs up of
and it's just a matter of time, right? I mean, Elon Musk just had the balls to do it.
I'm going to show everybody. Here, let me see if I can.
What do you got there?
So when you double tap on Apple Pay,
they just showed us your bank card. There.
Yeah, your cards come up. Here, let me use Joey's camera real quick. Hold on, stand by. But I just did this, folks. Watch this. I added my Coinbase Visa today.
Oh.
Let me see. So I can pay. So I was on the beta list. They're like, hey, if you want to be someone who's considered to get on here, and get one of the first adopters to get the credit card, let us know. In 2 weeks, I get the physical one.
Nice.
Awesome. And you get crypto rewards with that?
Yeah.
And that's fun. You know,
and you can choose your rewards. I'm getting XLM. I chose XLM because I get 4%.
Right.
Okay.
But there's like 1% if you get Ethereum.
Was it Friday or Saturday afternoon on Coinbase, which is pretty cool. I'm not promoting Coinbase, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I am. I have an affiliate that I get like $10, or we both get $10. Coinbase has like this thing.
It's pretty cool. They said, would you take this quiz?
Yeah.
So I took 3 different quizzes, and I wound up with 3 new coins.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, the other night?
No, just last night.
Oh, it was the other night.
I got 1 coin and I got $3. I was like, solid.
Yeah.
I took 3 quizzes. I got 3 coins.
Yeah, Coinbase has I believe they call it the Learn and Earn program.
Yeah.
And so you just take these little quizzes, and there's probably like 10 or 15 different coins if you're new to it, that you take these like watch these 2-minute videos to learn how their cryptocurrency works, and then your reward is free crypto. And
I sold Tezo. Sorry to interrupt. It was $13. I earned the $3 originally. It went to $13. I'm like, I'll take free money.
Yeah.
So what? You know, you fill up the half tank of gas or something with it, but for minutes of your time. You know?
No, it was fun, and one was Stella. So just to say Stella was kind of fun to do. From
Stellar.
I always like that. Yeah, Stella. Could have been a contender. But yeah, so on Coinbase, so I'm gonna. I
apply.
keep getting that offer.
I signed up. I'm like, would you be interested in getting a card? Oh, congratulations, you're on our wait list. You know, as soon as we're ready, you guys on the wait list will get it. And today I'm like, congratulations, wait list is over. You know, if you're interested, start now. Apply, agree, bam, bam. Great, start using it today.
So you didn't have to do like a credit check and all this stuff?
No, because you're using your own Bitcoin. It's more of like a credit card, like a true credit, like where you actually have credit on the card.
So it just gives access to the financial system to everybody. So
there is some fees, you know, and I think it's like 2% of an activation or processing fee of like, it's like 2%. So you buy a $100 item, you're paying $2. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they all do that, bro.
Yeah.
So when you spend money, is it dollar for dollar? I mean, on the XRP, you said XRP?
XLM.
XLM.
So that's Stellar.
That's the reward.
Right. Okay, so Stellar, right.
So when I spend 100, I get 4% into Stellar.
Oh, so each time, so you get...
So I get $4 every time I spend 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
$4 of an appreciating asset.
Right.
Right, nice.
Yeah. And again, when I have my physical card, just to brag about some cards, if anybody's still interested, I do have my Venmo debit.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
you could send Venmo and then I could spend it right away in a form of a debit. And I got my Cash App card.
Look at you.
And that's what that looks like. So I love having...
Anybody would like his social security number.
I love having... my apps, like tangible. It's fun. I have them in the Apple Pay, so they're right there on my phone. I have them in my wallet, because not only do they have a unique feel, but you're also like, you don't know anything about that unless you're into crypto. Yeah. that's like an exclusive club.
It's a good conversation piece.
It's a little bit of everything.
Aisle,
it's a little bit of everything.
Lane.
Yeah. Tonight I'll go back onto Coinbase and see and do it.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it.
That'll be fun.
So Walmart is hiring a crypto expert.
I saw that.
I feel like this is on every episode. We talk about the same.
No, that was Amazon. And then before that, it was Google.
And we didn't talk about that last week.
So Walmart?
We didn't talk about that last week.
All right, so that's already 3. So you know what we need to do? Off air, we got to come up with a technical institute that teaches crypto, whatever this position is. Because I feel like as soon as the Amazons, the Alphabets, and everybody else gets involved, Walmart's, like everybody's going to need one.
That's going to need a certificate.
Everybody's going to need a certificate.
Yeah, you're right.
Jennifer?
Crypto expert.
Jennifer
Crypto
is
expert college.
Jennifer is our consultant.
Walmart employee.
Do we get
Like
the blue
it.
vest? I might be heading there.
So I mean,
Welcome
it just mainstream adoption and
Yeah.
Trends. They're born, they grow, they mature, they die, and Bitcoin and crypto has just been born.
They multiply.
Multiply.
We don't
So
die.
it's not
we
going
multiply.
anywhere. When these big companies start joining in, they're not stopping.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we go back to one of our first episodes, we talked about El Salvador collecting monies. We're talking about here's corporations and big box stores. We talk about we first started with countries accepting Bitcoin. Now look at how many are starting to accept Bitcoin. The list has grown so much longer. So it's more and more of a it's becoming more and more mainstream than we think, and within that's why when you look at when you read as much as I've been reading and on the crypto, everything's 2 to 3 years, 2024, 25, and it's really not that far off. When things you'll start to see it growing a little bit more, where things will.
There was a survey that just came out that 17% of Americans own Bitcoin.
17%.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn people.
That's over 30 million people.
Yeah.
I did the 10% just to add the 7. I can't get the gazintas that fast.
The gazintas. So I predict that when we start sending people to Mars, those spaceships will be paid for by crypto. And that's not too far away. Like they're already doing like tests. In fact, I looked at one. They're like, we need people to live in a Mars-like environment.
They're hiring somebody to do that.
Did you see the qualifications needed?
Is this like a biosphere?
Almost,
Kind of.
yes. Kind of, yes.
Yeah, it's a Mars environment.
So it's simulated,
Yeah.
Right.
we're
Was it 6 months or a
segregated
year?
experiment.
Into the mic.
Was it a 6 months or a year?
I forget that part.
And you had to be a scientist.
You had to be a very well-established scientist, yeah, because there's only like 6 candidates that they could pick at one time. So they all need to be like doctors in their field, like astrophysicists and stuff like that. Yeah. They're not going to put just a Joe in there like, anybody want to watch The Simpsons tonight with me? Like, no, we're all scientists. Leave us alone, you know.
Don't laugh about The Simpsons. The Simpsons have predicted a lot of things, and actually on one of their chalkboards, they had Shiba on there.
Not for nothing, but
They predicted
of course,
XRP.
and of course, there's probably like a Freudian slip because if there's going to be anything to watch in a Mars kind of environment, it should be
The
Simpsons, because they actually pay tribute by having aliens on the Simpsons show. They did a whole like show with the aliens and stuff, and like all their Halloween specials. So I think at least an hour a day. If there's any entertainment, it's only Simpsons in this Mars habitat that they have to enjoy. But they have to like simulate different things, like losing oxygen, like running out of food, having all of your microgreens spoil or whatever. All those
just
kind of
like the biosphere too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and apparently it pays a little bit. 50, 60 grand or something.
Or death.
Oh, you're done.
That is a.
Because if you fail, I mean,
yes.
depending on how isolated you are, if
You
you're
will
like
have to sign a
beneath,
disclaimer. You
the
may
earth
die.
or underneath the water, that's what
Wow.
that's why I would have a biosphere, underneath the water, and because that way ain't nobody following you, and it's foreign. Mm-hmm. Nobody lives underwater a whole lot, submariners, but
there was a movie made in the early 60s called Hello Down There with Tony Randall, and they lived under the water.
that was probably when 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea also came out.
But they lived under it. I think it was like
see, you gotta have Joey to throw us back into the 60s. Wow.
Had a
Just
great
like-
theme song too to the movie. It was a good cast, but it was Tony Randall. I don't think you guys even know who that is.
But
Maybe-
I think these astronauts or whoever
Yes.
whoever's in this biosphere, they'll get paid in Bitcoin. Anyway, all I was trying
That's
to say is
interesting.
there's going to be Bitcoin being spent like anything else, and it's going to be at some of these, I think, bigger. Because instead of cash, like wiring $5 million, like no, this is such a more simple, more equitable, so much more traceable type of currency. Here's this the same equivalent in Bitcoin. So here's 100 Bitcoin instead of the 5 million or whatever the equivalent is, and exchanging it like that. It's the same reason dollars came about, because
instead of the old
carrying so many
clunky-
coins to so this is when the coins met the bills. Everybody they would have pockets full of pennies and go, that's a lot of pennies. Can we do something better? To get a car. Like you're not going to pay for a car in pennies. So it's the same thing. Like why pay for something big in fiat dollars when you could just exchange the Bitcoin and now they have it and then they could use it. And I think just by that reinvestment as well, it just grows in value. And I mean, just the whole economy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How many years you think that's away? How long you think we're
9
away from that? Nine years.
Walmart, Google, and Amazon.
I was going to say
the
10
three
years.
biggest commercial
9,
richest,
that would put us at 2030
because they're already talking about paying people in crypto, like as a wage.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
I didn't
lot
hear
of
that one.
People can opt to get paid in Bitcoin
and the
from
NFL,
some companies now.
or a lot of sports people are getting.
I've seen
or
that.
requesting to get paid in.
I saw that
Bitcoin.
one of the
I believe so.
Maybe in
bonuses he won.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about a little bit more serious stuff, like infrastructure and law and regulations.
Oh, fun!
Wow.
Oh,
So fun.
here we go. I may need to pick me up before we get started.
Cryptocurrency can be confusing and hard. At Space Coast Crypto Consulting, we make cryptocurrency easy for you to learn and understand. In a world of uncertainty and out-of-control central banks, it's our mission to empower you with the knowledge that you need to confidently control and grow your own crypto portfolio. Call now to begin your crypto journey. 321-412-4021. That's Space Coast Crypto Consulting at 321-412-4021.
And we're back. Good afternoon again, everybody. We are having so much fun. Thank you for sitting in with us. And the second half, I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but we'll do our best.
I'm sure we'll make it exciting.
We'll do our best when we start talking about infrastructure, and that means we'll talk about a little bit about Nancy Pelosi, I hope. And then we'll talk about Dancing Schumer if we go that route.
Oh, geez, let's
and
not
then
do
we
that.
could go to, we're going to talk about what? Law? Is that what we're going to talk about? The law?
Yeah.
We could talk about Budweiser, too.
We'll talk. Well,
Because we're going to need
we'll
to
go
lick it up.
Yeah, we'll go into Afghanistan a little bit at the end too. So crypto has been disguised as a way for the market to be heavily regulated. So basically the infrastructure bill, they snuck in a couple of paragraphs, and I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but the way that they wrote the language, basically the government wants to leave it open to be able to tax the hell out of crypto. They disguised it through a budget. So the crypto tax was a small amount. So 28 million is what they plan to raise to help fund this infrastructure bill. So 28 million, when you're looking at a $1.4 trillion bill, is really not that much. So they wanted it to be low enough to be able to sneak it in with nobody noticing. Well, the crypto community did notice that they were trying to change the language to redefine what a broker is. So they wanted to include everybody who has any even indirect attachment to crypto purchases or crypto transactions. So a broker would include a blockchain developer, coder, or even miners. So this kind of opens up the language where the government could come out and say, well, you need to furnish all of this know your customer information, this KYC information that a normal miner, wouldn't have access to, nor would we want miners to have access to our personal information for security and privacy. So they have made it basically impossible to be working in this network without making you a criminal. So basically, if you cannot furnish these documents, then you'd be committing a crime. So this is kind of some shadowy back-end way that they can come out later to say, hey, you're committing a crime, we're going to shut this whole thing down. So it's just, we want to be weary of it. The language was not able to be changed and passed through to the House. Now the House is on vacation, I guess. They're not voting on it until the end of September. But this is something that we need to pay attention to. And the crypto community really did step up and go to lobby to change this language. But because of one person didn't agree, it did not go through. So, but this is something that could be really big, and they kind of disguise it as a way to fund their bill, but really they want to leave that language open that they can come back later and shut the whole thing down.
Unbelievable. They keep taxing us.
It's not unbelievable. It's par for the course.
I know.
This is exactly what they do.
I know. They tax us.
Any new technology,
tax that they just keep taxing the people, and it's just, they want to keep going after the 1%ers. Eventually money runs out.
Here's the thing. If I was a politician, if they don't want to use it and get taxed on it, then they'll stop using it. But when everybody is continuing to use it, no matter how much it's taxed, you're like, we got them right where we want them. They're still using it, and we're still getting revenue from it for no reason except passing a law that says we're entitled to the money.
And they want to be able to crush it overnight. This
well, they want the power. They want the self-destruct button.
Yep.
Everybody wants that power.
They're getting. We've talked about this too. With the central banking and these guys, they're all, not all, but
they're rotten to the core, man. All of them.
All of them.
Even the ones who meant well early on, they're.
Yeah, I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah, you can be polite. I won't.
Good. All right. Well, F them, because they're all crooks at this point, because they're not looking out for the American interest the way we're going. You want infrastructure? You want to put money into roads? Drive through New York. Really, you lose a kidney as you're driving on those roads. It's amazing these people even have tires. It's awful. That's just.
Is this because of all of the tolls?
No, the roads. How bad
dangerous?
They are. You could go fishing in some of those potholes.
Oh.
I've seen swimming pools that are smaller. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But they keep spending our money. We're not protecting the American people. We're paying for people to stay home. We're paying people to do absolutely nothing. We're lazying this country. We're turning our military, our strong boys, into a bunch of corporal clingers. If you watched MASH, we're more worried about wokeness, as Trump says, instead of being out there protecting our asses. Instead, we're don't get me started, because this whole infrastructure bill needs to be on infrastructure, not global warming. And infrastructure is a bridge, it's a road, it's airports. It's not. It's
our electrical grid.
It's our electrical
grid. It's our fresh water supply. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, and I agree with the electrical supply. We really should be.
Well, it needs to be. We just had a pipeline hacked last year. We had electrical grid hacked. We have all these hacks going on. That's where the money needs to go to. Is to revamp
cybersecurity.
Just get that technology updated. To where it's a lot more secure, because this is just bad. And guess what they're getting for ransom? Crypto.
Are they really, though?
Yes.
Because they said that they were able to recover it, but
I heard.
Did they really?
I think the pipeline guy got away with it.
Yeah.
At least some of it.
They
were able to recapture some of it, but
yeah.
Listen, 2 million versus 4 million. Yeah, it's like half of what you were gotten, but it's 2 million more than you had yesterday.
We're just heading in the wrong direction, and we're not the America we should be. We're a much better country than what these politicians are doing. Socialism doesn't work. Look around the world. Even the third world nations are going to crypto because their currency had gone upside down. We're going to be we keep going this route, we'll have our money in wheelbarrows.
Well, we're seeing
pre-World
a
War
shift.
II Germany.
We're seeing a shift in power.
It's something's got to give, folks. Something's got to give. Afghanistan is a good example of the weakness of our country now. That we're not protecting our own. We're not taking care of our own. I mean, when you see images of your president turning his back and just walking out the door instead of answering questions, I think it's sad. We elected this man to answer questions. Answer a fucking question. I'm sorry. Answer some questions. Have some balls. Don't hide. Don't hide. Don't hide. And even the press is getting on his ass now too. And that has nothing. And then he had the balls yesterday to stand in front of America while we have soldiers standing there holding on rifles in the freaking desert in the sands of Kabul. And he's talking about praising Nancy Pelosi for her upcoming infrastructure bill, which is nothing but bullshit.
It's a fantasy.
With the two.
And what do they say? It's not big enough.
It's
right?
not
They
big
want
enough.
more.
Yeah, keep spending. Keep spending.
Well, because let's be honest. And I think I've been saying this for a long time, guys.
Tell us, Jesse. We
don't own this country. It's a corporation, and this corporation is in debt to China.
Absolutely.
China is our bank, and the Federal Reserve and all these other people, have kind of helped it, because I don't know what China has, but somehow the central banks really, really like what they're doing. I guess it's because they have 3 billion people in a socialist utopia, and they would love to duplicate that everywhere around the world, where you are judged by a social credit card.
We're screwed.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just a credit report. It's like, well, have you said anything bad against the regime in the last 10 days? Well, maybe you get your rights back. Hell, Facebook is already communist. They're already shutting you down. Mm-hmm. You don't think that they have actually like started to make it to where we get used to having rights and privileges taken away? We're all being conditioned.
Yep,
right
we
now,
are.
yeah.
And the more they spend, and the quickest they spend
experiment.
it, the only person that comes after us and wants to collect is China. And when they collect, all of the these politicians who are in China's pocket, they all go on the big jets and they're all flown to their mansions in the Himalayas or whatever the fuck they want, right? They sold out.
Yep.
Okay, but they got the golden parachute. The rest of us, we'll come under Chinese, a regime will take charge, and UN and everybody else, all these peacekeepers, will say, okay, maintain the peace. We know you're upset, and then they're going to send more soldiers. Guess from where?
China.
More China. And so it's all going to come appearing in little waves, and I've been preaching this for a long time. I hope I'm wrong.
I do too. I do too.
Did you know China owns like most of our maritime ports?
Yeah, there was something.
Look it up.
Yeah, they bought a few, and didn't they purchase something here?
So when
but it was
they
declined,
yeah.
or Russia was one of them tried to purchase the port here, and it was declined.
Right. Thankfully, because we have patriots at this port, but not all ports are like that. And there's always this autonomous zone in every port. There's an autonomous zone where a vessel of a different flag could come in and do their business, and it's not really it's like maritime code. Look it up. I'm no expert on this. I will get an expert if everybody like really wants to learn more, because I do have some people here at Port Canaveral that would love to talk, and just really, so really, what part of the port is really owned by us, or is more government, more Department of Interior or whatever else, so how much of it is federal or state level? Because it's kind of like a private thing, but there's ownership in different parts of it. Like we have Navy, we have Air Force, or now Space Force. There's like so many pieces of any individual port. You have the gas guys, you have the cruise ship guys, and all of these have different flagships coming in all the time. And not for nothing, a lot of more of it is coming from China. And the more shit we spend from China, the Fashion Novas. I know there's so many trends. I'm gonna piss some people off, but when you go and find all this cheap shit, like where do you think it's coming from? So I know you guys love the cheap stuff, and you keep coming and you do the unboxing and the revealing and the fashion shows. But if it's coming from China, or even an Amazon box, it's probably coming from China. Mm-hmm. So as much as we just give to them, we're really building the beast. And the more the government prints, the more we owe to them. And the more we owe to them, the more your senators, your police departments, and maybe your local National Guard will put up resistance. But DC's paid for. DC's paid off. They're all going to their again camp in the woods. Like they all got it. They all sold out. They all and I swear it's going to happen, and it's going to happen so blindly, because we're all going to be in some kind of quarantine. We're all going to be inside. We're not even going to see them parachute down. We're all going to be inside our damn homes, and they're going to take over.
Well, Afghanistan.
Red Dawn, baby.
Afghanistan, they refer to as the graveyard of all empires. So throughout history, back with Alexander the Great, tried to take it over and failed, and then Genghis Khan, and then the British Empire, Russia, and then now the U.S. They're calling this a failure.
Why hasn't it been just...
Well, China has already got men on the ground. They already have all of their deals worked out, and it's going to be the pipeline through. Pipeline,
the electric, the lithium. I didn't realize how much lithium. All of a sudden, we now find out they had lithium. So for 20 years, they had lithium. We should have been mining that lithium.
It was never for us.
I know.
Trump kept it for us, or for the Afghan people, for the last 4 years. But that whole, crate of $1 billion in cash that Iran got, that Obama sent them, all this stuff that they've been, the occupations have just been a way for us to just funnel billions of military dollars into these regimes. Like, they didn't spread out. Who do you think kept them alive all this time? Like, there could be only so many jihadists with all of our forces, with all of these other international forces, and there's a limited amount of caves. Afghanistan isn't that big of a country, not maybe the size of Georgia. Look at the square miles. Like, how big is this place? And you're telling us our force we couldn't penetrate deeply enough for 20 years to find every single little crook and little wannabe, like even gangbanger, equivalent, some little thug, 13 years old. We couldn't find all of them, whoever's been radicalized, and get them all. I don't know. It seems like it's just been another
because we didn't go in to win.
Right.
When Trump went in, he said, "Okay."
Well, he disrupted, like I said.
He disrupted it.
4 years, he put that plan on pause, because it was supposed to be Hillary that was supposed to inherit that, and then she would have done what she did, but she didn't get the opportunity. So Biden
is doing it now.
Holds a torch.
Mm-hmm. And then the opium fields. What I don't understand with that, why didn't we
eradicate them?
Yeah, burn them, whatever, because everybody would just
we use tons of Monsanto over here. We could have used it over there.
There's just so many things.
Glyphosate.
There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more to this than just. There's more to this, and this is just the beginning of what we're seeing.
Minerals, pretty much the whole opium supply of the earth is pretty much there. It's like it's concentrated right in there. Mm-hmm. So not only do you have opium, and not for nothing, but you can weaponize opium. You can drop that stuff and get a whole population addicted in no time. The guy from OxyContin can tell you that. You can get a whole nation like zombied out if you just disperse it for free, or if you just circulate it within the air supply, or just sweep it with like crop dusters over people. You get a whole population put in their water supply. Now you got them all ooped up. Ain't nobody gonna be high on opium and be able to fight.
The first hit's free.
Yeah.
Well, we should have done something, because this is just ridiculous. To watch our boys standing there being told to stand back. Our military is there to fight, not to stand back.
Yeah.
Just we have enough weapons to bring those people. We're told the other day we can't get our people out. That's bullshit too. That's nothing but being a bunch of pansy ass pussies.
And when they come for your guns, tell them you gave them to Afghanistan as well.
Yeah, I want my tax dollars. Every one of those. Joe
Biden could give guns to Afghanistan. I'm gonna give my gun.
Yeah,
so you won't fight it.
Yeah. All those weapons, the amount of money we've given to them now is just ridiculous. And that's our tax dollars. That's what we're pissing our money away. F you on that. Take care of our boys. Those boys should be allowed to shoot first, and then ask questions later. And he should have had the balls to say, just like Trump, I don't care. You like Trump, you don't like Trump. I'll take his mean tweet any day versus what we're getting now. We're back, he says to NATO. Even NATO's laughing at him, going, sit down, shut up, and have some more, have some Metamucil and go take a nap.
Meanwhile, in Australia, they're testing the New World Order.
Yeah, very much so. Real strict.
So, I think the whole world's watching that mess. Those poor people, man. Mm-hmm. If you're watching, we're praying for you guys.
Yeah, and London, too. London, they were rioting, though.
Well, you're going to see more and more, more and more people getting upset.
Yeah, but it happens in cycles: oppression, a revolution, freedom, oppression, revolution, freedom.
It's that world order, and that's what they're trying to do here. That's why.
Well, if they could get that whole continent, which is easy because they're isolated.
Right.
They can't get neighboring, navies. I guess they could, but Indonesia's not going to come save the day. Philippines probably won't come save the day. The Kiwis over at New Zealand, they're just as bad. They shut down as well. So not only is it curfews, but it's full-on martial law. and they're already putting stickers on people's doors, like the Scarlet Letter or other depictions in history where, if you may have the plague, you're we're writing this on your wall, so it's like we're really like turn of the 18th century right now. Like we're coming out of the dark ages, it seems like, with personal rights and everything else, not only that, but they're taking kids away from parents to get them inoculated, like ripping them from their arms,
from
forcing the jab.
From birth or from
no, just any, like your family. Like if you're like you just can't quarantine in your home no more. If they know there's somebody that hasn't gotten the jab, they're gonna pull you from it.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I saw this poor kid get ripped out of and they had 4 guys restraining the parent, and 2 doctors take off this take this kid's dragging, kicking the whole way. You could tell everybody was upset.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, there's some heavy stuff happening in the world. There's some big changes coming, and
all I'm saying is, you
wake up, people.
You may want to
said that last week,
and you may want to diversify.
Yep.
Remember that. I mean, some people think crypto is part of the New World Order, even if it is, which I highly doubt, because I don't think it's something that can be, again, centralized, and so anything that can't be held by one government, there can't be one government, right?
Right.
So if the money isn't in one government and powered by one government, then there really can't be one
Well,
government.
and that's what separates Bitcoin from it, though.
Right.
So is cryptocurrency and a cashless society part of the New World Order when it comes from central planning and what China is doing with the central bank digital currency and programmable money and ultimate loss of security and control? Yes, it's going to be. And that's what makes Bitcoin different. It's freedom from all of that. So if we opt out of this regime and choose to have our own financial system, which so many people, 17% of Americans, are leaning towards that already, then we can, separate war and money and have freedom. Bitcoin is freedom.
It's just disgusting to see what's happening to this great country. It really is. It really fries my ass. And all those people that went overseas to Afghanistan to fight for us and to try and keep us safe here and do the best they can, coming back in body bags and getting legs blown off, to see us standing there watching the 20th anniversary of 9/11, to watch these people just to tell our Marines and our military to stand still. It's just wrong. That's not America. Wow. That's not America. That's not what that's not what we stand for. That's not what our flag is. Get our people the hell out of there and then turn around and just annihilate them. Just have a pair of balls. There's by them not doing this, there's more to this. There really is. There's underlying factors that are happening for us to turn our backs and to give us such bullshit. We don't know how many people are there. Really? You don't? We've been trying. Email us like it's a contest. You want to get out of the country?
Well, they know how many people aren't vaccinated, apparently. So
that they know.
They must know how many people aren't there either.
They didn't register. Don't you? They know who's left the country. It's simple. I mean, again, they stand up in front of America and just
all they got to do is poll every
visa,
every spouse that is over here and say, "Hey, is your loved one home yet?" Count those raised hands.
Yeah,
no, I mean, it's not a hard thing to calculate.
No, it's because they don't want to.
Right.
This is bigger than what we're being told. And stay tuned, and what's going to happen? It might be very frightening to all of us, and that's what we have to be prepared for. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but wake up, like Jennifer said. Just wake up.
Just become aware.
Just be aware.
Take off the blinders. Get your head out of the sand. Turn off the TV. Go, find some, seek alternative media. There's a lot of people, even on YouTube, we were probably watching us, and they have even similar ideas, and they probably have even more evidence. I could shout out to a couple people, but that would still be me influencing you, telling you where to find your news. Seek it. Become a little bit smarter than your neighbor. Become a little bit more in tuned, because it may save your family and your neighbors and all your loved ones' lives. And not to be super dramatic, but it goes from just being prepared or just being diversified, or just being, you could see it coming. So if you know that it exists, you could at least be prepared and see it coming. So even if it's at the very last minute and they're a mile away and they're coming in trucks to come pick you up and take you to some kind of re-education camp, at least you know what that is. It's not the ice cream truck, here to give you free ice cream. They're taking you somewhere.
Well, when they take me to the re-education loan, I hope I get the macrame class.
All right. Well, just to close things out, thanks so much for tuning into the Crypto Wave podcast. There are
he took it right over the edge.
There are decades where nothing happens, and there are days where decades happen. So things move very slowly where nobody's noticing until they move really, really fast. Yeah. And we're approaching this point where things are starting to move faster. So open your eyes, pay attention, get prepared. And it comes down to, family and community and being here for each other. So
and keep praying.
Yes. So thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, and share us where you watch us.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. We appreciate it.
Until next time, this is the Crypto Wave podcast. Check the description. We have some links in there for you guys to go visit. All right. Until next time.